Hi everyone and welcome to the fifth episode of Locker Room Talks, where we discuss some interesting NHL news and events. And my friends, we saw the history. Maple Leafs made it through the first round. They beat the Lightning in 6 games, and that's gonna be the end of someone's career. Because Lightning is over, in my opinion. Lightning is over, and they have nothing to do to win the cup one more time with that squad, with that kind of leaders. They failed. They really failed, and in the next season, I don't even think they will make it through the first round once again because they have no depth players like they did when they won 2 cups in a row. Like, that's the Lightning problem. Blake Coleman was like one of the most important of them, one of the strongest of them, and now they have like Perry, Belmar, Nick Paul. That's not kind of players that you wanna win the cup with. You need great bottom six players to win a cup, to fight for the cup even. And the problem of Lightning is really the depth because those bottom six players at the Lightning nowadays, they are not so good. They are not championship players, and that's the problem of Tampa. And I think that Lightning will have to rebuild. They have to rebuild right now because, while Stamkos can do something, while Kucherov is in his prime, like this rebuild will take 2 seasons. They just need to make it to make the team younger, to make it better in sense of bottom six players, and if they will have great future even without Stamkos and Kucherov. But as I see as of right now, Tampa is in a big trouble because they are going to the hell in my opinion as of right now because they lost to Maple Leafs in the first round. That's something I couldn't even imagine because in my opinion Tampa is a team that really this team is a playoff team. They can lose everything in regular season. They can be like 8th or 7th in their conference. They may fight for a wild card spot, and then in the playoffs they will beat everyone. That was my thought. That was my imagination of this Lightning team. But as I see, really, they lost Coleman 2 years ago. 2 years ago, if I'm not mistaken, right after their second cup. They lost a whole lot of depth players right after their second cup. They have Corey Perry, yes, he's a very great bottom six player, but he's so old. He's so old even for a bottom six player. They have they have great players. I mean, bottom six players. They have great bottom six players, and they can't do anything as of right now because they can't do anything. Like, they can't defend against the Maple Leafs. There's nothing to defend in my opinion. And they lost it. It's so bad for the Lightning because Stamkos is old and he's gonna retire in like 2, 3, maybe 4 years. Nikita Kucherov is in his prime, and right now this is the time for Kuch to win more rings because if not now, then never, in my opinion. And they have to make some changes, but they live in that times when they won 2 cups in a row and they still think that we are the champions, we are the best team in the history of this league. I just remember some thoughts, some says about it, but as we see, it is not. They are not the best team as of right now. Even Avalanche lost, but we're gonna talk about it later. I'm so sorry that Tampa lost because, in my opinion, this is the team that was really the best for the cup in this season. Because as of right now, I don't know the team that will win the cup because we have Seattle, Vegas, Stars, Oilers, Panthers. That's a big surprise. Panthers, and we have like that kind. It seems like they are not cup favorites. They are not even contenders, in my opinion. Some of them, but we will witness cup from like Seattle, Vegas. That's dumb in my opinion. So the reason why Lightning lost the series is a depth players, and they have to change it. But I think, as I see right now in the market, in the players that we have around the league, that situation is will take so long to change because great depth players, great bottom six players will cost so much. Like Blake Coleman, for example, he's a Flame right now. He has 5 million contract for the bottom six player, and he's playing really good. In my opinion, he's one of the best players in the Flames roster that season, and he costs 5 million. Just look at the salary cap of the Lightning with Cooch, Point, and all of the other guys who has salaries like 5, 6 or more millions a year. I guess this situation will take some trades, some good and loud trades, because maybe we'll see Point in the other team. I don't know, because in that series I don't remember him. Like what he do. I don't remember that. So that is the reason. And also I wanted to talk about deadline management of Lightning. They got Tyler Jeannot, who did nothing, absolutely nothing in that series. And he was like the top six player. They got him with the thoughts that he will be in the second line. But what we see nothing from him. And as of right now, we also have to talk about the Leafs, because these guys made history for their club, and I'm so happy for the Leafs fans because I know that feeling. I know that feeling when your team can't do anything in 10 or more years, and then you did it, and that feeling is something that you want to enjoy all time long. And my congratulations to the Leafs fans, because that is the series that you have to be proud of. And if we speak, what was the reason why Leafs won this series? In my opinion, this is just a team play. You know, also besides the team play, I wanted to say about fire in their eyes, because those fights, Matthews against Samkas fights, they fought each other, and guys just wanted to win so bad. They really have to, they could fight anyone just to win this series. And as I thought earlier, I thought that Maple Leafs is a team of like guys who just wants money, who just want, I don't know, anything except of winning the cup. In that series, I saw the team that will fight for the cup, and the team that wants to fight for the cup. Also, Samsonov played really well this series. He was not one of the best players in Leafs roster, but he did some really important saves in that series. So that's it. Maple Leafs in the second round. We witnessed history, guys. And also one of the, surprising series in that first round is Bruins against Panthers. Last night, Panthers won Game 7 in overtime. And in my opinion, as I thought and as I said in my predictions, I said that Boston will win in 4. But then, during the series, I realized that, this Boston team is not special. I can't say that they got lucky in a regular season, because, 72-10 record, in my opinion, you can't get lucky with that. You can get lucky like 50-32 and make the playoffs. You can get lucky with that. But when you lose only 10 games in an 82 game regular season, that's something you can be proud of, and that was really the teamwork. Also, I didn't understand why Jeremy Swayman played Game 7 instead of Linus Ullmark, but whatever. If Boston wanted to close the series, they had to do it in Game 5 or Game 6, okay. But Game 7. And Panthers surprised me so much because, I didn't think that Panthers is a playoff team because, as their leader, in my opinion, their leader was Alexander Barkov, who, you don't see him much in playoffs. Maybe he does whole lot of dark work like blocking shots, giveaways, takeaways, whatever. But as we see, the real leader of the Panthers is Matthew Tkachuk, and that fact is warm in my heart. But I saw really great teamwork, and Sergei Bobrovsky is a guy who really saved them. He really saved them because game 5, game 6, those last minutes pressure moments from the Bruins, and Bobrovsky really did what he should do, what he have to. And Panthers will play Maple Leafs in the second round, and that's going to be so entertaining because I expect a whole lot of goals in that series. If Maple Leafs played Tampa and they realize that, if we will play full attack mode and they will play full attack mode, we'll lose. And Maple Leafs tried to play with their brain, not their head and their feet. And that worked. But Panthers, in my opinion, yeah, they beat Boston. And it looks like surprise, and even I, 2 weeks ago, I told Boston will sweep them. But as of right now, as I watch some games, I can really say that Panthers was better. Even after 3-1 in the series, when Boston take that lead, Panthers was just better. They were better, and that's all. And I feel so sorry for Boston. As some persons say that the championship window is closed for Boston. I don't see that. Bergeron wants to end his career. He wants to retire. Okay, that's his right. But not only Bergeron played in that team that made 72-10 record in the regular season. Remember that record. Yeah, they won President's Cup or President's Trophy. I don't know how it's called correctly. But they lost in the first round. And after this series, that team, they called it the greatest of all time in the regular season, and they broke some records that, as we thought, will never be broken. But Panthers surprised us not in the fact of game. They surprised us in the fact that that kind of underdog can beat that kind of leader in that series, because no one could have imagined that Panthers will, in my opinion, I didn't even think that Panthers will take one game. And as I told in the previous episodes, I thought that Boston will just win the cup so easily. I couldn't see the team that really can fight them. But Panthers just made something really interesting, and the Bruins fans, they are so sad as of right now. Also, Avalanche lost their series against the Kraken. But I don't want to talk about the game. I want to talk about Nichushkin impact in that loss. He was out of the roster after game 2, if I'm not mistaken. And he didn't play until the end of the series. He played 2 or 1 game in that series. And if we speak about the impact, Avalanche had Landeskog on the injury list. And then Nichushkin is out of the roster for some incredible shit, we'll talk about it. And now you don't have 2 great players. We don't speak about Landeskog. Nichushkin, he is really the guy who do all kind of work. He can shoot, he can score, he can pass, he can play shorthanded, he can play power play, he can block shots, he can fight along the boards, he can do everything. And this is the guy who led Avalanche to the cup last season. That was not McKinnon. Nichushkin had the best season of his career. And that history with that girl in his hotel room, Like, what happened? As the Denver Post said, there was a drunk girl, women, a drunk woman in his room in a hotel, and she was that drunk that she almost died. As I know that, as I understand that. Then the the doctor of the team walked through the hotel and decided to walk into his room, Nichushkin's room, and he found this woman. Then she punched him. The doctor called 911. What this woman did in his room? That's not his wife. She's Russian. This woman was Russian, and after that, Nichushkin was out of the roster. What happened here, we don't know exactly, because there was a police, and they made some protocols of it. And as of agent of Nichushkin said, Nietzsche is out of all of their protocols. He's not figuring in all of that. And then why was he out of the roster? Because I don't think that Jared Bednar is that kind of coach. Like, for that kind of stuff, he couldn't make it. I mean, he wouldn't take Nietzsche out of the roster for that shit, because that's not something illegal, in my opinion. But this situation costed Avalanche the series, and they lost it to the Kraken, the team that has no playoff experience at all, so young team. And in my opinion, if we speak about mastership and leadership and all of that qualities of a players, Avalanche is better than Kraken. But what we see, Game 7, Kraken won it. And I'm slightly surprised, but after Game 6, I knew that Kraken will win. And as of right now, Seattle is the only undefeated team in the playoffs in the whole NHL history. But besides the jokes, the Kraken will play the Knights in the second round. And my heart hurts the fact that we'll see in the conference finals either Vegas or Kraken. Because those teams, like, I don't know what to say. I'm not a hater of a Kraken, but I'm a hater of the Knights. I'm not a hater of a Kraken, but, in my opinion, first round is enough for them as of right now. And as I predicted, they will lose series, they will lose another one, and they, with experience, they will have something like second round or third. Like this team of Maple Leafs. But as we see right now, they are in the second round. They won the Avalanche, the cup holder as of right now. And it's slightly surprising, but, that fact with Nichushkin, just imagine, that's so sad to even imagine it, because you had the best season of your career, you have the best contract you've ever had, you have one of the most important series in your club's history, because I don't know what Jared Bednar will do with this squad. It is great squad, but if you lose to the Kraken in the playoffs, I guess you have to worry about it, and you have to change something in your squad. But what? I don't know. And I guess Jared Bednar will think about it all mid-season. And, in that situation, with the best contract of your life, with the best form of your life, you are the leader of the team. Maybe not, like a player who can score, but Nietzsche scored so much important goals. But as a leader, as a mental leader, I mean, Nichushkin is so experienced that he can lead anyone to the cup. And I told you, Nichushkin lead the Avalanche to the cup last year, not McKinnon. And in that situation, you invite some woman to your hotel room. Maybe that's not true. And in my opinion, until the next season, we won't know the truth because the Avalanche just won't tell us. But this situation makes me think about, isn't he just throwing his career out? Because uh, what could have happened if that doctor of the team didn't walk in his room? Maybe he just drunk her, made her drunk, and then he wanted to do some dirty shit with her because she was so drunk that she nearly died, as the Denver Post said. And in that moment of the career, you want to do something like that, and you know, something inside of me tells me that maybe we won't see Nichushkin in the NHL anymore because but at the other side, I remember the story of Evgeny Kuznetsov who did some coke and he's still playing. So maybe that's not that bad. But we have coke that's just that's only for you. And at the other side, we have Nichushkin with that woman, and that's really the thing that makes me think about him leaving the NHL. Because I mean, the Avalanche will pay him so much if they wanna end this contract with him because they signed him for 7 years, if I'm not mistaken. And he just thrown it out. If this is true, I hope it's not because well, Nichushkin is a great player, but maybe we'll know the truth someday, and maybe Nichushkin will say something because after that incident, he didn't say anything and he didn't show something on his media, if I'm not mistaken. He's just quiet right now. Maybe he's waiting for something, and maybe he went home to Russia to his wife because his wife in Russia. But I don't know. So that was the last topic I wanted to discuss with y'all. Thank you for listening. Hear you soon.